Hello, friends. Lawyers in general, attorneys, lawyers, are looked upon with disdain and contempt. And you might say, well, that's unfair. Not all of them, which is true, not all of them, but great majority of them. It's a reputation that is well earned, and I will explain to you why. But later. But what I want to talk about in this particular video are divorce lawyers, which are the in countries where the laws are on their side, meaning the light is green for them to do as they wish with the easy laid out red carpet that is laid out for them in a divorce situation, like in the United States and Canada and Western countries. These guys become the lowest of the low, and they throw out all kinds of human decency and compassion and heart, and go into it with the lowest of and the meanest of intentions, like there is no tomorrow and like there's no karma. In order to, in most cases, in order to succeed in the profession, in the legal profession, you have to be able to lie, meaning you have to be able to defend your client even though you know he's guilty or he's not telling the truth. In the case of divorce laws, family law in the countries like United States and state of California, all of U.S. and Canada, they attract the lowest of the low. I don't know if you've been involved in a divorce settlement with family law. You've come across these people, and you've come across with the sections, the segment that call themselves super lawyers, a self label that they give themselves basically means a super sleazy. They are the lowest of the low. It is documented, it is recorded, it is a fact that they convince their female clients to manufacture lies such as he beat me, he abused me, he threatened to kill me, he threatened me with a cold or warm weapon, in order to extract more funds out of them. And when they face a situation where a woman wants to divorce a man with money, if the man has no money, they wouldn't give you the time of day because there's nothing for them in it. But if they sense that the man has money, like a shark senses blood in the water, the fangs will come out, and they will encourage the woman, first of all, to lengthen the process, because as the process is lengthened, the legal fees add up. And often, if you're not familiar with this, believe me, if it's true, Google it if you don't believe me, and you'll know it if you've been through it. The man often ends up paying for his own divorce lawyer as well as the woman's divorce lawyer. That is a well-practiced, well-known, and frequently practiced case where the man is also responsible to pay for the legal fees. That is like paying for the bullet that kills you. And of course, all of this can be avoided by not getting legally married to a woman in the West, given the current divorce laws of the West. If you need that more clearly spelled out to you, then I don't know. Maybe you are either suicidal, a masochist, or unfortunately, you do not have the power to extrapolate and come to a logical solution in your head. But I am telling you a decent, compassionate advice that if you have any form of assets, getting into a legal marriage with a woman is a highly, highly risky venture, given the marriage laws of the West. And they've got the army of divorce lawyers behind them that will aid them in extracting as much out of you as possible. I have an acquaintance that said when they were getting a divorce, she basically woke up one day, she says, I don't want to be married to you anymore. And when I saw the picture of her, believe me, I told the guy, so what's the problem? you should give her the house just so you don't have to look at her anymore. But anyways, he was really upset and broken up and everything. And she said, but don't worry, I want the regular stuff, half of the house, half of the assets. I'll be fair and I won't touch your retirement. Then she said 3-4 months into the divorce, she says, I changed my mind. I want the retirement too. And you know, there is no argument there. It's just the fact she only has to say, I want it, because she was convinced by the lawyer, hey, you're leaving money on the table. You should go for the gusto. You should go for the jugular. You know, he's gonna, 2 weeks from now, he's gonna be with a new woman. He probably already is with a new woman, spending his money on her, the money that belongs to you. They convince these women, sometimes, often it doesn't take much convincing, but in case the woman wants to be, you know, semi-fair and says, well, you know, that's not fair. He had the house and he had the retirement long before we even knew each other. He's been working there for a long time. They go say, no, it's your money. It's your right. You're entitled to it. It belongs to you. These lawyers don't care. They want to maximize the bottom line of their fees by collecting money from the man for the legal fees, as well as for the percentage of the settlement, and whatever way they could increase their own bottom line. They do not care if that will permanently ruin the man, if it'll separate him from his children, if it'll separate him from his home and everywhere that he, you know, anything that he was familiar to him for the duration of the marriage. And often these men are depressed, broken for the rest of their lives, and often they resort to suicide, and etc., etc., etc. So I made this video to kind of warn you that if you're getting married in the West and you have any assets worth talking about, you'll be dealing with divorce lawyers that are already well armed with full cases of ammunition behind them, and the courts and the lawyers and the laws are all on their side, and they will bear them down onto you with its full weight. So think twice about getting married and dealing with divorce lawyers. All the best.